everyone, welcome to another video about the 67 Mustang. Right now the head is off at the machine shop waiting to hear back from them to find out what all needs to be done to it. Told them to go ahead and test it first, so actually see if there's any cracks or anything in it that would make it not usable. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but wanted them to do that. Then of course remove the bolts that were stuck in it, give it a good cleaning, and potentially do a valve job. But waiting to hear back from them on what all that's going to cost, so we'll have to see how that goes. So what am I doing while we're waiting for the head to come back, because that's kind of stopping any advance on the exhaust system replacement? Well, I've been working on some of the parts we pulled off as a result of that, so I'll kind of show you what I've been doing. Okay, so I've been working on some of the parts. You can see them here. I've got the fan. I cleaned it off, got it being painted a nice black. I think that's what it was from the factory, but I don't know if you can see on there some of the original stampings of part numbers. See, there's a Ford Moco. There it is. Nope, there's another stamping on it that I found under some of the old rust. So getting it all cleaned up. And then we have the thermostat housing that is a new piece that we replaced back when we first got the car running. So cleaned up, painting it blue so it'll be Ford blue like the engine. And then this is the riser or adapter that goes from the intake manifold up to the carburetor. So getting it cleaned up, it was pretty nasty. You can see this is where those cooling hoses go in for the go from the heater core and back, whatnot there. So we're getting it. I painted it blue. I don't know that it was painted before, but I thought I'd go ahead and paint it anyway. It looks better blue. So then we've got let's see the other things. We got our pulley here, got it all cleaned up and painted black, and again you can see some of the stampings of the part numbers on that side. I'm not sure if you can see them back here on the inside. There was some back in here as well, so we get that all painted up. Actually used the Harbor Freight blasting cabinet for the first time to clean the pulley up. So you can see down into, well, I guess you can't see that. Let me, if I turn on the light, does that help any? Yeah, that's better. And I'm getting some reflection back off that glass, but got it used just using plain old sand on it. Did find something out. Apparently my breaker for my compressor had tripped, and it's amazing the sand cabinet thing doesn't work well without air. So got flipped the breaker back. I think it's because I had a heater plugged into it. Did that. Some other parts we painted. These were new, so got a couple of these are hangers for the exhaust system. So they were all bare metal, so I got them primed and painted black. There's one hanger, and then here is the other hanger. So those will be ready to go when we get the get that done. So anyway, so with that, what I'm going to do today is crawl up under the car here on the front end and go ahead and drop the oil pan there. I need to replace the oil pump. When the engine was running, I had her running, she was, the oil I mean, she had oil pressure, but it seemed like the longer she ran, there we go, the pressure would drop. And it could be the oil pressure sending unit, which I got a new one of those too. But I don't know. It's the oil pump is old. I don't know if it probably was replaced when they rebuilt the engine in '87. And it did sit for 22 years, but I figure what the heck. I got a new one just in case. I want to make sure the oil pressure is good. So we're going to get up there and work on that. So I'm going to try to drop that down here. First thing will be to drain the oil out of there. There we go. So got the drain plug back over there. And then once that's done, we'll get up here and start loosening all these bolts rather, that go around the oil pan. So I'll try to set up a camera where y'all can kind of see what's going on as I'm doing this. But that's what we're off to next. So. Okay, so get ready to pull out the drain plug, the oil drain. Can't find my wrench that's the right size, so I'm going to try to use some channel locks here. Not the best, not what I would prefer, but as long as the last person that changed the oil didn't torque the bejesus out of the drain plug, then they will work. And luckily, the last person to change the oil was me. It's not super tight. Like, fully, these are working. I don't know where my large adjustable wrench went. That's loose enough now for my fingers. Get that finger back in there. Okay. Almost there. This will be a lot easier with the right wrench. Let's see if we can't get this out now. Of course, it's not ever going to be easy, is it? It's not super tight, obviously. I'm not having difficulty with the tool, and if I had the right tool, this would be so much easier. But, of course, I don't have the right tool. Why are things never easy? Still not loose enough for my fingers to do easily. Let's keep going at it this way then. So we did change oil when we first got her started back almost a year ago. It's in, I think, March. I'll have to go back and double check the videos. There we go. This will be her first, I guess, new oil change since we got her started. Oh, there goes the camera. Sorry about that. Oops, let's turn you the right way. It helps. There we go. So you can see the oil spilling out. Sorry for the camera mess up, but it happens. So I'm going to let that drain out. Once that gets good and drained out, then we'll start removing the bolts for the rest of the pan. Hello again, folks. So we're under here. I've been working, got the oil drained out. It actually wasn't too bad. I'm working on getting all the bolts out of the drain pan. I actually got the other side done, except for 2 bolts on that side holding it up. So I gotta get the rest of these, which, by the way, what socket size are we using on that one? Oh shoot, I forgot what size it was. Anyway, I'll figure out and let you know later. I can tell you this, the 2 bolts in the very back, back up in there, which you probably can't see too well, but they're 1/2 inch, which is a different size than all of the rest of the ones up here, which are something, I don't remember. Anyway, 5/32 or anyway, something like that. Anyway, so what I'm trying to figure out now is how to get the oil pan out, because you can see it extends all the way up here to where the harmonic balancer is, and in the way you have the front sway bar here. Here is the front sway bar. Then going back, you can see you've got this cross member here that's partially in the way, and then you got the tie or the steering linkage or whatever the heck that part is called, which is also in the way. So what I'm thinking is, if I drop this, get the sway bar out of the way, I get this thing out of the way here, then I can drop the oil pan down. Sorry, my other finger's in the way. Drop the oil pan down and then bring it out through the front of the car like so, right? I think that'll work. I don't have to take the big cross member out in the back. That's what I'm going to try. So I'm going to get, before I undo the rest of the bolts on that, I'm going to go ahead and take the sway bar off, which shouldn't be too bad. I had it off when we rebuilt all the steering. You know, all the steering and suspension components on the front end are brandy new. So yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get in there to take the sway bar off. Got to undo it where it connects to both lower control arms here, so it feeds across. You can see how it feeds into there. So I'm going to undo that, get that disconnected on each side. Then once I do that, then I've got to get these brackets with the bushings undone. Now luckily, again, I've done this all before, so it shouldn't be too hard to get them off. And I should say that, anyway, so I'll do that. The other thing I was going to say is, for some reason, in doing the bolts on the oil pan, I know I'm going from one place to the other, a little squirrel syndrome. Squirrel! But the ones on the driver's side were much looser than the ones on the passenger side, and I actually ended up breaking one of them off. Also noticed one was missing on the passenger side, and it had a bunch of was it RTV gasket sealer stuff up in there. So yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. So anyway, I'm gonna go get this sway bar off and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got the oil pan out. You can see there it is. Still got some gunk in it, but we'll get her all cleaned up. So let's go back under the car and see what all we had to do. So I did end up having to unbolt the cross member because the intake for the uptake screen for the oil pump, which is what I'm getting under here to replace, was hanging it up, which I didn't think about. So, but now we're underneath the engine. I've got to clean out that. Not sure if that plug's supposed to be there. Anyway, clean out. You can see there's the dipstick right there. So right now it's going to read we have no oil. So yay. Anyway, the underside of the motor looks pretty good. See the crank up in there and the ends of the pistons. So anyway, I'm gonna get, now that that is off, I'm gonna pull the oil pump here off. This is the whole reason I'm up under here, is to replace it. So got a whole brand new one to go on. So we'll go ahead and pull it off. Yay. Okay, folks, so we got our new oil pump installed. It's really pretty easy once you get the oil pan out of the way. I've actually also got a new pickup in there. The hardest part is trying to get the, there's a rod, little multi-sided hexagon rod that sticks out of, let me get the old pump, sticks out of that big hole right there. Kind of, you can see it. And that goes up and engages in the engine, is what spins the impeller in the pump to cause it to actually pump oil. So you got to get that aligned in the pump, and then aligned in the engine itself. But it goes pretty easy. A lot easier than some of the videos I had been watching. So now I've got a couple of things to do. First, I'm going to go clean the oil pan up and use my new sandblaster to do it. So here's the oil pan as it is now. See how grimy and gunky it is, and we'll see it when it's done. So that was a lot harder than I expected. I did have to take apart half the underside of the car to pull that out, but it is what it is. So we're done with this. Off to go clean. That'll be part of another video. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video about how to take the oil pan out of a 67 Mustang with an inline 6 and replace the oil pump in there. Said this is just ongoing stuff on trying to get her, you know, back into good reliable shape. You know, I had her running, I had her moving, had her stopping. But we want to get beyond that. We want to make her where I can go out and, you know, just turn the key, cranks up, and me and my wife can go down the road on a nice pretty day and have fun. So we're making steps to that. Did want to mention a couple of things. If you did like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, you know, leave comments, let me know what you like, don't like, all that kind of good stuff. We also have a GoFundMe page, so if you want to help me, you know, buy stuff better for the channel, like better cameras, or again to put parts or stuff into the Mustang, let me know. And if you do go something through GoFundMe, and I'll make sure the link is included down in the description, then, you know, hey, give me ideas on stuff you'd like to see done, and if I can make it happen, I'll try to do a video on it. So with that, guys, I'm gonna go, like I said, start cleaning some parts, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.